just went on my first hike of 2024 and it was pretty good. I'm at Buckeye Cove. It's off of Stevens Road, but it's called the Buckeye Cove Nature Preserve, I believe. It was a bit of a crisp day. It didn't rain, at least it hasn't so far. There might be a little bit of showers starting right now. I would come back here for sure. There's a little tiny waterway that you can cross, and there's a lake, but you're like right behind houses. Like I'm sitting in my car at the trailhead and there are houses right in front of me, like maybe like 50, 100 feet away. So it's interesting, and I think there's like a farm behind me. But yeah, first hike of the year. I'm glad I came out. I was gonna be a little bit late, so I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go. But I'm glad I came, and I figured I would do my first solo hike if I got here and people weren't here. The only downside is like now it's like 2:30 because we did 2 trails. So it's later than I would like it to be. So one thing I learned, my phone died like relatively quickly. Well, I learned a couple things. One is that my phone died really quickly, so I should bring an extra charger. And or like I had my apps open and it just drained the power a lot. I think the AllTrails app drained the power a lot, but I really wanted to get like the trail that I was doing like recorded in AllTrails. So yeah, I'll have to bring extra power for the phone. Another thing was the lady was telling me about how she fell and like broke her wrist actually on a hike that they did. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never really thought about that. So I wanted to add like an ace bandage type thing to my first aid kit. And the other thing is to always bring my hiking shoes. Like I did this in my running shoes because I was like, oh, it's just a nature preserve, it'll be fine. But it was really muddy, and now my running shoes are like really dirty. And my hiking shoes were already dirty from like Stone Mountain or wherever, Lake Norman, I don't know where I hiked with those. So it would have been better to just do that. What else did I learn? Oh yeah, so the whole thing with her breaking her wrist, like it was wear my hiking shoes and bring the ace bandage, but also if I ever lead a hike, I don't know, you kind of just have to be prepared to like what are you gonna do if somebody gets hurt, you know? Or what would I do if I get hurt? Like how do you make it back to your car or anything, you know? So definitely when I'm thinking about solo hikes, it's like if I was gonna hike by myself, you just have to be like very careful. I know there's sometimes you can't really do anything about it. Like she just slipped. But, you know, gotta just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna get going. I also parked in a really crazy spot, but I'll be able to see. There's like a pit almost right behind me. So I gotta get buckled up. Yeah, I think that's about it. That was a good hike. Got a lot of miles in, probably like 6, and I cannot wait to record that. I was gonna do some challenges, like 52 hike challenge and like a 365 something challenge. I actually don't think I'm gonna do those. I think I'm just gonna record my hikes and like keep moving, because I don't really want the pressure of like having to hike. I just want to hike because I want to. So, but yeah, and I also tried out my new Osprey bag. It was great. It was nice having a pack that had zippers instead of the roll-up one that I have from the Salesforce folks. Yeah, so all in all, it was a good hike. I'm looking forward to my next one next week. All right, I'm gonna head home. Literally just walked in the door. So now I'm like, I'm hungry. Like, I wish I would have thought to like stop somewhere, because I was near Huntersville, which would have been like close to the Whole Foods and stuff. Kind of, but not that I was near Huntersville, I was in Huntersville. So yeah, and then the other thing was I wanted to talk about like what I'm wearing. So I already mentioned I started using my new backpack, and I tried these front straps and everything, and it's actually not bad. Like I can see why people use them. And I did do the bottom straps, but I'm not wearing them now. So I wore my regular Columbia jacket. I feel like I need something else like this because this one's pretty light. And I do have another one, but I feel like that one's too heavy. So I wore a couple of layers, and maybe that's like basically all I can do. When I first started walking, I thought that I would want my gloves, but like once we got to maybe like a mile in, I was actually hot. And for a portion of the hike, I took this layer off, so that was good. So then I wore this thing, and I think it's the right way. Yeah, I put it on the right way, and it has this like gaiter thing, and I feel like this helped a lot. And underneath this, I have one of my like Gap Fit tops, and then I have this Calvin Klein sports bra. And I was pretty warm. Like I said, I took off this jacket for like the second half of the first hike. The second hike, I left it on because while we were eating and stuff, kind of like got like cooled down. So yeah, and then I put it back on. Now it's pretty chilly. So gloves would have been nice, but not like mandatory. Ear warmers would have been nice, but also not mandatory. I don't think I would have wanted to wear a hat. I feel like that would have been uncomfortable. In the beginning, it would have been nice, but like I don't think I would have put it back on. I'm trying to think of what else. I did not bring my hiking shoes. I really wish I did. They look destroyed. And there's actually quite a bit of like debris also like on the inside. I could feel it when I was walking. Now I have 2 pairs of shoes to clean. Now I have 2 pairs of shoes to clean. But yeah, I wanted to talk about my food too. I feel like if I would have done what I was going to do, which was like wake up early, I was going to actually like boil some eggs, maybe make an egg sandwich, but then I was like, is that gonna sit well with me, like eating that? I'm not sure. So I have to think about food that would be good to have before a hike. I know that I shouldn't drink coffee, for example, but like right now, I kind of want some coffee. I'm gonna take a shower. I'm probably gonna have a cup of coffee, and I just have things that I need to do. There's a part of me that wishes I would have just left right after, but I wanted to get some more walking and some more exercise in, so I stayed and did the second trail with Faith, my hiking buddy for today. And so I don't know. I'm sad that I didn't take like pictures. It is what it is. I'll probably just end up posting the like hike thing on All Trails or whatever as my photo, or maybe I won't post anything because I mean, who cares? I'm just gonna put it down as my first hike. Yeah, that was an interesting day. So at this place, the only other thing I wanted to say was at this place, like, oh, I didn't take a picture of like the pit that I was talking about, but just remember, put in your notes that there's like barely any parking. You might have to park like in the neighborhood and walk over to the trailhead, and like there's this weird pit like where people park. So I don't know. All right, first hike down, feeling accomplished. I wonder if it's abandoned. An abandoned tent.